Welcome back, fellow milk drinkers, to yet another Monday Milk Review. My name is Jacob, and today we're going to be looking at Oak's Nutri-Grain flavored milk. Those who have been watching the recent episodes, you know that Oak has been going totally bonkers with all of their new flavors, but with this milk, I am finally back up to date with all of Oak's current new range. I put this one to a vote on my Instagram, and you guys spoke super clearly. We've still got the Dairy Farmers flavors to cover at a later date, but for the moment, we're going to be looking at this one. First of all, I'm going to acknowledge that this is one of Oak's protein plus range. I don't really care too much about them. I'm not the target customer for those whatsoever, which obviously may shock some of you. If you care about that sort of thing though, there's 30 grams of protein. That might be high, that might be kinda average depending on what you drink. Here's a couple of examples of other flavored milks which do advertise their protein numbers, so you can compare to those if you're interested in that kind of thing. The bottle design is so complicated. There is just way too many words, way too many pictures going on. This is visual overstimulation. There is just way too much. They need to tell us 3 times on the top of the bottle that there's 30 gram dairy protein. It's just superfluous. Why 3? They're not even divided evenly on the bottle. There's high fiber written twice in really weird angles, as well as high calcium. Why not just once? Why is high calcium once? Why is high fiber twice? Why is 30 grams protein 3 times? This is madness to me. You've got the front design twice. Why? What is going on? Am I crazy? I know that this is a weird nitpick, but to me, it's just visually really confusing to look at. Why didn't they just have a front-facing design and leave the rest clean? These are the questions that only I will ask and no one else wants answered. I don't understand the design, nor do I understand the flavor inspiration. I don't think anyone, after a bowl of NutriGrain, looks forward to that milk particularly. Maybe I'm judging it too harshly before even trying it, so let's get into it and see if my fears are realized. Okay, so most people know what Nutri-Grain smell like. If you have smelt Nutri-Grain, it smells like that, perhaps a little sweeter. Now, as you can see, it's a very tame kind of brown, maybe even leaning towards tan. In terms of a spectrum of brown, you could maybe say chocolate, cream, and maybe tan is somewhere just past halfway. Wait, what's the middle then? What is the most middle ground brown? Dirt? But it depends on the dirt. Forget that. The smell in the glass. Oh, okay. Pleasant. It's taken a little less of that sweetness. The sweetness has seemed to dissipate once in the glass, which I think is probably for the best. That sweetness isn't super fitting to the source material, I'd say. Let's give it a taste. Yep, that's interesting. I can't say that I hate it. I cannot say that I like it. It's weird. It definitely takes from the Nutri-Grain flavor really well, but that's not something you want to drink. I will say it doesn't taste like the milk left after having Nutri-Grain, which, we started at rock bottom and now we're just a little bit above it. But it does do what it does fairly well. I gotta say, I could very clearly go, oh yeah, that's what Nutri-Grain tastes like. The sweetness is definitely off though. It's way more sweeter than you would normally have Nutri-Grain. I don't put sugar on my Nutri-Grain, but I would imagine that's what it would kind of taste like if I did. If I was in a life-threatening situation and I had to praise it, they did a really good job at recreating what Nutri-Grain tastes like. They've actually done that fairly well. It's not exactly spot on when you compare that to their performance in some of the more recent flavors that they've done. This is a step in the absolute right direction. The other ones were pretty far off their source material, in my opinion. It's kind of getting worse the longer I drink this, and it's possibly because I've now started to be more familiar with it. It's no longer as interesting to me, and my palate is starting to go, you don't really like this. So I think I'm gonna call it quits here. I personally don't think I'm going to finish this drink. It just doesn't really appeal to me in any way. There's so many much nicer flavored milks out there that if you're gonna be drinking flavored milk, you may as well really enjoy it. And this, I don't really enjoy. With that being said, I think the best that I can give this is a 3.5 out of 10. I don't really think I could recommend it to other people either, because I don't think I know anyone who's that passionate about NutriGrain. Whilst I kinda like what they were going for in terms of cereal why do I always have a stutter every episode? I like what they were going for in terms of cereal collaborations. Maybe that's just a difficult 2 words to put it together. Cereal collaboration, cereal collaboration, cereal collaboration. No, I am just weird. Hey, but for the folks at home, if you love tongue twisters, try Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch. Give it a go. You will struggle. What was I talking about? Cereal. But I did want to say I appreciate the thought of doing something wholly unique. I've never seen anyone else do cereal flavored milk before. Credit where it's due, Oak. But that about wraps us up for this week's episode of the Monday Milk Review. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all of our weird and wacky flavored milks of Australia. Thank you once again, and I'll see you next week in the Monday Milk Review. Bye bye.